Hello, welcome to another Thicker Hair Thursday. Well, as promised earlier this year, more fun folks to come and join me on my podcast here. And today, the doctor is in the house. And I'm not talking about a medical doctor, I'm talking about a leader in academia and also someone from my past who hopefully doesn't have any skeletons from our student union days. But a leader in the world of marketing and business. He is Dr. David Gordon. He is the Associate Professor of Marketing at the Leicester Castle Business School and also the University Teacher Fellow. Did I get that right, David? Anyway, I'm glad you're here because we've got a very exciting topic which we're going to talk about, and that's Gen Z. Well, first of all, welcome, David, and welcome from Leicester, where I hope it's not too cold or rainy or anything like that right now.
No, it's cold, it's dull, but that's just kind of that's January land in the UK.
There you go. So there's your travel invitation to the UK. Cold and dull in January. Maybe go in the summer, and it might be a bit warmer. So today, David, thanks again for joining me. So the subject of Gen Z, I think a lot of us as marketers want to know, how do we get the best ROI out of our marketing spend? And so when we're targeting different audiences, obviously the mechanism and how we go about it varies. So with Gen Z, how do we go about that? How do we tackle this audience? Obviously, very different set of mindsets. With some of the answers, I believe, is Dr. Gordon. So David, could you share maybe the first of, I think, two ideas that you have as recommendations?
Yeah, I found so I come from a commercial past. For a number of the years, I worked full time for corporates, albeit on the smaller channel side, but also in academia. So I kind of spanned both roles and frustrated by both, not in a negative way, but I knew I was always going to come to full-time academia to bring all the knowledge and advice of what not to do, as well as what to do, into academia and for students. And I'd seen over the past number of years, the move by Gen Z and the different way they think. Yes, it has been exacerbated and stimulated and impacted by COVID, but generically, and I see this as well, I've got three daughters, 24, 17, 16. I see this in my three daughters, and they the way they think, the way they view products, the decisions they'll make about products is different. It's very different from you and me from when we were younger. Not that we didn't care about things and threw litter everywhere and didn't mind paying, the high prices and what have you. But it's a different conceptual approach of viewing products and viewing companies and that decision process. One of the key things that I've seen technologically linked over the past number of years is apps that will immediately inform students how ethical the business is, not just what charity they're giving to at that time, but the ethics of the company. Yes, a charity giving, the sustainability of the products, right from the packaging, the employees, absolutely everything all the way through. And they will make buying decisions on that process to the extent, Ian, that they don't mind paying a little more. It isn't low cost is king. It's the real conceptually the ethics and sustainability and the morals of the company. That is absolutely the zenith of decisions.
No doubt about it. And I remember years ago us dealing with this when we were in a similar position. It was all about animal testing back then as a key issue. And the big multinational companies certainly had to change their story for fear of all that backlash. So within that, what key messages do you think marketers should look out for, maybe address on packaging?
Okay, in terms of packaging, absolutely sustainability, not only of the package and being able to recycle it, but right back to the people who produce it. If you look on a parallel, if you look at some of the smartest companies in terms of their buying teams, the real hard-nosed negotiators, it isn't that they'll be cruel and brutal with their suppliers, but they'll have done the homework with the suppliers to say they know how much the suppliers pay for fuel, how much they pay average wage, how much they're paying for their own production process, the warehouse, their shipping, and they'll have done their own calculations, and they'll say to suppliers, oh, hang on a minute, you're charging me, $10 for this item, but I know it's only costing you $1.50. I've done the sums for you, and I know that. So, please, let's be sensible. And so as the same parallel, if you look at the tactical and forensic investigation that Gen Z will do, and very quickly on their phones, they will look at the companies who are producing it. What are they like? Where is it really going? Maybe our age, without sounding kind of anti-ageist, yes, we'll have a little look at what is sustainable plastic, single-use plastic, what actually happens, and yes, we'll know a bit about it. I find that Gen Z, a lot of my students, they know in detail, and they'll make buying decisions based on that.
One last question. Social media, obviously, this thing has become the most powerful device in the world. What are some of the ways that brands could maybe use social media as a vehicle to capture the mindset of the Gen Z consumer?
Well, it's funny you say that. I have students that I don't know much lecturing anymore, but say a couple of years ago, my last sort of lectures, no one takes paper and pens in with them anymore. No one takes notes. It's either complete touch typing on a laptop, or Gen Z will type faster with their thumbs, a lot faster than they can write. And so people are just constantly looking at their phones. They're not searching social media, they're taking notes. In terms of your question, Gen Z, they will look at influencers and micro influencers. It is